Stephano versus DIMAGA, Game 2, currently 1-up for DIMAGA in this best-of-5 series. Will DIMAGA sweep through this nice and clean and into the finals, or will he indeed be stopped by the might of the French player, the up-and-comer, young indeed, 17 years old, and this, I believe, only, as you said, his second offline event. Stephano, who's been performing really, really well. We shall find out. We have Stephano right here in the pink trunks to the west of the Metalopolis, versus his opponent, the one and only DIMAGA in the red trunks. He's also playing Zerg to the east.
Yeah, I think Stephano, well, it's his second largest event. I think he's been to a couple in France, and nothing large scale, but this is definitely the biggest, well, actually equally biggest, because we are awesome, just like Home Story Cup 3. And this is so far, I mean, he did well in that tournament, but didn't quite keep up to kind of the par that was set, the kind of skill caliber at that tournament. Though he's been winning so many tournaments online, everybody knows about Stephano Zerg and how good he is in Zerg vs Terran and Zerg vs Protoss. He is known for not having the strongest Zerg vs Zerg, but if he can overcome that and beat DIMAGA, then he is truly a Zerg god.
Yes, he is. He is the Broodlord. Whatever the case, the fact of the matter is that he beat Sen, who is considered to be one of the best ZVZ players in the world. So he can certainly compete here. As to whether or not he'll be able to deal with DIMAGA, who, as you've said, is probably the best ZVCer in the West at the moment.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like I said, he's beaten ST, and it takes a lot to beat ST.
It's fairly hard, yeah. That is a pretty tricky feat to accomplish unless you happen to be playing against him. But Tetris DIMAGA sneaks it in, and Stephano unable to block that one, and that's changed things around significantly.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about how little things matter already. You can just look in the production tab. DIMAGA is actually ahead a little bit because of that one drone leaving that early. And DIMAGA doesn't at all ever send out a scouting drone. So he can just get a little bit ahead because of that economy. He's gone for the extractor now before the spawning pool, actually, which is interesting. And on the other hand, we do have Stephano throwing down that spawning pool without the gas at the moment, and we'll follow it up shortly after.
Interesting stuff. Now, why would you think that DIMAGA would actually grab the extractor early in this particular scenario? What's his game plan?
Well, he's just going to go ahead and open up the same as he did on Securus. He's going to get that speed as soon as he has 100. And then depending on what he sees or how he feels or how he desperately wants to play this game, we'll throw down that early bailing nest for defensive purposes or aggression if he smells weakness. Smells that Stephano got too many drones than he needed.
Yep. Stephano with a little bit of drive-by gold larceny right here. He's bringing back a little patch of gold minerals with that drone, which I don't think really compensates for the fact that it's been off the line so far, but the gift will be appreciated nonetheless. Spawning pool up right there. Extractor is now completely saturated, and of course we'll be seeing speed coming in from DIMAGA right about now, and Stephanos is going to be significantly delayed, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about, cutting corners and so on to try to come back into the game. You had to get that extractor after the spawning pool rather than before, because of that reason, not having that extra drone mining. He will go ahead and get it immediately now, though. On the other hand, we do have DIMAGA staying in gas. He's already at 70 gas, and there goes the bailing nest down in the back of DIMAGA's base. And this can, like I said, either be a defensive or aggressive bailing nest, depending on what he sees and how he wants to play. But I love the way these overlords are spread already from DIMAGA. I mean, look at that statue. He's even trying to touch the overlord, but won't quite reach it.
I'm afraid not. It's like, get down here, damn it. Oh no, I'm made of rocks. It's not going to work. Whatever the case, bailing nest on the way for both. 25-second difference.
Yeah, we do have DIMAGA lava injecting, noticing there was an overlord very close to the creep. He's going to go kill it. It will delay the lava inject a little bit, but at the same time, that's taking down an overlord. And we already know that DIMAGA's got, a few seconds ahead advantage right now, so he's going to pull back.
That's a good 20-second supply block there as well, because that was not being rebuilt. However, this could be a trade by the looks of it. DIMAGA's going to lose one of his own. However, DIMAGA is already building in anticipation of this, so no supply blocks for him.
And you can notice already that DIMAGA's overlord is a lot further out than Stephano's was. And that queen that Stephano has is at 36 energy and is a long way from going back to actually lava inject here. So naturally Stephano has to be on the aggressive side because he just doesn't have that lava right now. We do have the standard 3 bailing, 4 bailing morph here for DIMAGA in a defensive stance while droning up behind this.
Yes, indeed. Now, you'd think that perhaps DIMAGA would want to get aggressive because he got that early speed, but no, that's not the case, and it's very, very smart for him to hang back right now. And he will, needless to say, wait to receive the gift that his opponent is going to give him, and he is in a really great position to defend it.
And equal drones so far, well, 28 for DIMAGA, 29, well, 28 as we have an evolution chamber going down for Stephano. And DIMAGA morphs a lot of links here, just in defensive position, doesn't want to just rely on 3 Banelings alone, does have them in good positions around the back of the mineral line and covering the ramp as well in case of any run-bys.
Yeah, interesting idea right here from Stephano. He's just daring his opponent to attack him. Stephano, the defensive Zerg, very, very good at that kind of thing. And this wall-off is pretty solid. It's going to be difficult to penetrate one way or the other. And DIMAGA actually does not bring any Banelings along with him. He'll probably try and morph them to the top if he wants to do any kind of damage. He's already used one of Stephano's Banelings up, but there's plenty spare. So this attack is going to be difficult one way or the other. He's going to go for a run-by. He was very, very quick with that single ling right there, trying to take out a Baneling. It didn't, of course, happen. However, Stephano is still in a great defensive position, and that was a good detonation right there. 2 Banelings traded for around 8 Zerglings. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Look at that, Stephano actually going for +1 melee attack here. And both of these guys taking their gases very early here. Stephano going on 3 at the moment, DIMAGA on 4. There goes down the Roach Warren, and the drone count right now, 43 for DIMAGA, 40 for Stephano, 8 more in production for DIMAGA, 6 more. And it's really ice skating right now with these units and drones, making sure. And that's really the key in playing Zerg versus Zerg. Unlike the other matchups, it's really, you have to scout so well and consistently look around before you actually make a round of drones.
Yeah.
Oh, the Lings actually get in
nice
there.
Little run by. Nice little run by Stephano. He gets all the information he could possibly need from that one. He's well aware of the roaches, and his response, he's actually going double upgrades and an infestation pit.
Yeah, this is really interesting.
It is.
I mean, he's going to basically go Ling Infestors, so this is going to be cool to see. I haven't really seen this too much in this matchup. And at the same time, we do have DIMAGA scouting that 3rd nice and early. He's going to go take his own 3rd. We do have the +1 and 5 roaches in production. And Infestor Ling is something that's you don't really see too often. And I mean, the reason why is because roaches are so damn good, especially if you spread out well and you kind of minimize the damage output from these infestors. But we're going to have to see how that does go down.
Yeah, I have to wonder if it's going to be more of a case of not necessarily using fungal growth, maybe using fungal growth on initiation to get a good surround, but then backing it up perhaps with infested Terran if you're in a good position, as opposed to just relying on fungal growth that, as you've said before, isn't so effective in ZVZ because against roaches they tend to spread very nicely. We've seen him use those infested Terrans before, and they were actually fairly effective.
Really nice micro there by Stephano,
nice.
just sending in a couple of links to try to bait some Banelings. Gets one off, but look at that, taking a nice 4th base. And that's really aggressive with his economy right now.
That's tasty. Nothing wrong with that. And the question is, what is DIMAGA's response to it? He is going with the heavy upgrade approach. That said, he does not have 2 evolution chambers chomping away at it. Getting burrow and tunneling claws, however, so that's an intriguing idea. And an overseer will be required very shortly.
Yeah, I mean, DIMAGA's going to hit with this +2 timing, borrow, and tunneling claws, and he's not going to go for this infestation pit right now. He's going to build up economy and basically swarm and swarm and swarm. If you notice last game, the infestors, after a couple of infested Terrans and a couple of fungal growths, they were pretty useless after that. So DIMAGA's just going to wave after wave after wave, and look at that nice transition. I thought this would come from Stephano, going for Hive nice and early here. Can go into an Ultralisk Cavern very, very shortly and use these upgrades to his advantage. Yeah,
it makes sense considering the double upgrades and going for the armor. Ultralisk is likely. When was the last time you said Ultralisk is likely?
Not too often. You don't really see him that much here. And Stephano really poking around does see that the roaches do have +1, but he doesn't see any infestors yet. He must be questioning that. And I'm surprised that Stephano actually hasn't sent in a overseer, which is could be considered a mistake here, because he doesn't know about the lack of infestation pit and what DIMAGA is trying to pull out here.
And he hasn't actually seen the upgrades yet. The timing is interesting right here from DIMAGA. He's actually going to run past before that visual upgrade happens. So the tunneling claws will not be seen before they come into action. That means that, of course, his opponent is not prepared for it, and that means no overseer. And that means, hey, let's grab 3 free infestors. And now DIMAGA with a really great engagement right here. A nice long line, easily able to annihilate their force, split it right down the middle.
Wow, this is all going to be about micro. DIMAGA can just heal up the entirety of his army, and I can't believe 3 infestors just get sniped off, only losing 1 fungal growth. But now Stephano's on the back foot completely, and he's now at 100 food, 166 for DIMAGA, and he kills the 4th base. He's going to kill the 3rd. And what can Stephano do? Is it a Hive? What is a Hive going to be useful for right now?
Not a huge amount, I've got to say. It's not really going to help him too much. He can't break out the Ultralisk right now. It takes far too long, whatever the case. And he doesn't have a Spire either, so Broodlord's not an option. And he's really on the back foot. And those roaches are going to be nigh impossible to deal with unless he gets an Overseer. And he still hasn't got one yet.
Indeed, he has not. And this is just amazing play by DIMAGA, going for this strategy, really abusing the fact that Stephano just didn't scout what was going on here with this roach push. And as you can see, 65, and we're looking at like 15 or more useless drones for Stephano as he goes in here with all these links.
And there's an Infestor sniped off as a flanking attack comes in from the third. Very, very nice play right there, and these flankers will not hold it. GG, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. DIMAGA showing some excellent